Give her a round of applause, please. How many of you know it's not what you leave for your children, it's what you leave in your children?
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, and so she's been watching like you can take me on. So I thought about what I wanted to share with you, and I thought about Ramon's last name. She said, Dad, don't get scared. First of all, I need my little hat. Y'all to get me a hat, Ramon. All right, so look here. In order to become successful in flipology, guess what's important? It takes a total commitment. A total commitment to learning. It's an ongoing process. A total commitment to giving yourself over to the industry so that you can master it, so that you can begin to identify when people are trying to sneak away from the microphone. Come on, we can do this. It takes a total commitment. When I decided to become involved in speaking, I asked myself the question, what is it that's going to be different about me than everybody else? And I think all entrepreneurs, and you're entrepreneurs, you have to ask yourself the question, what is it that's going to be different about me? How do I take this information that I get from Ramon and make it mine? How do I take the methods, the techniques, the strategies, and the information and let it become a reflection of who I am as a person? Because at the end of the day, when you meet someone, or you're involved in business, or you're negotiating, they're asking three questions. And the three questions they're asking, who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? And so in all transactions, in all efforts that we have in interacting with people, we have to make a total commitment to build a relationship of relationship capital that will increase our referrals. When I got involved in speaking, I realized that what separated me from everybody else is giving presentations from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they were providing information. If information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. Mm-hmm. Think and Grow Rich was written, I was not able to register to vote. When it was written, I was not able to use public access. When it was written, I remember being on a bus with my mother, and there was a yellow line on the floor, and there were seats up front, and she said, keep walking, Leslie, keep walking. I said, but Mama, there's seats up here. You can't sit there, keep walking. And so what I realized was, at a very young age, that between the ages of 0 and 7, according to Dr. Martin Silliman, who wrote the book called Learned Optimism, he said between 0 and 7, we develop permanent personality behaviors. Between 0 and 7, you know, the Jesuits say, give me a baby and I'll give you a man or woman. At 7, between 0 and 7, there's a voice in your heart, and that voice is yes or it's no. Your ability and your skills and the knowledge that you acquire will be driven by that voice that's in your heart that said, yes, I can do this, and no, I can't do it, in spite of it. How many of you know people who are very smart, but they have not done very well? Raise your hands, please. Good. Shake someone's hand on your right and left, look them in the eyes and say, you have greatness in you. Do that right now.
Greatness in you. You have greatness in you.
You got enough tissue?
I hope. Oh man, I want to take his ass.
Every day we must encourage ourselves and we must encourage each other, because we don't live life as it is. We live life as we are. And so every day there's a level of mental conditioning that we have to overcome, consciously and unconsciously. And let us say together, total commitment.
Total commitment.
I'm totally committed.
I'm totally committed
to become competent, to develop myself, to master the information, that's being provided for me. Here's the next thing is, write this down. I own this space.
I own this space.
Yes. When I decided to speak, one of the things that made me stand out was that, one, I used my story, not information. I used my story, because stories have a human face. And my mindset was, I own this space. Even though I was the first coming out, having the complexion of rejection, while my competition had the complexion of exception and connection, I had to say to myself, when I spoke, I own this space. I want you to write this down. Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. I spoke before 80,000 people in the Georgia Dome that no longer exist. And when they were leading me up the steps, after praying for me, after circling me and my mentor, Mike Williams, who wrote the book called The Road to Your Best Stuff. I want you to get that book. I wrote the foreword for it, The Road to Your Best Stuff. You can get it on Amazon. He said to me, Brownie. I said, yes, Mike, and he knew I was nervous. He said, you looked out at the audience, didn't you? I said, yes, Mike, and my voice was trembling. And he said, you own this space. You own this space. Remember that. And he said to the guy standing next to me, give him the microphone now. And that's how I went out. And so when you look at all of the information that you're being provided, the reason there are a lot of people that get involved in this, but most people don't succeed. What is the difference between people who take the information that Ramon provides and do extremely well and those who don't? And it's a mindset. It's one who just come and they go through the motions, but the people who succeed, it's a difference between being in this business and this business being in you. Does that make sense? Yeah. The people who succeed have a mindset, I own this space. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. What is it that drives you? What is it that motivates and inspires you? There are people who are depending on you becoming successful. Am I correct?
Yes.
There are goals and dreams that you want to achieve. That's why you invested in yourself and allocated the time to learn this. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, in my situation, my goal was that I wanted to take care of my mother. I was born in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother. And we were adopted. First, we were taken in as foster kids and then adopted by Mrs. Mamie Brown. I stand up here because of two women. One gave me life, the other one gave me love. God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. And so I decided that I was going to find a way to provide for my mother, find a way to provide for my family. I used to work on Miami Beach with my mother, and she cooked for families, and she would cook for them, and we ate the food left over that she cooked for them. They would say, Mamie, these are kind people. They said, whatever food is left over, you can take it home to those children that you have adopted. And my mother could bake a sweet potato pie so good, you couldn't eat it with your shoes off. You had to take your shoes off so you could wiggle your toes. Right? And I used to follow around. You can tell I'm mama's boy. Mama, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I'm going to buy you a big, beautiful home just like this that will have big pictures and big, thick furniture and carpet. We had linoleum. Now, the millennials don't know anything about linoleum, right? How many of y'all remember linoleum? Come on now, let me tell you something up in here. You know, all this technology that they have today, millennials don't know about this. When I came along, we had a cordless iron. Look how quiet it is. I can hear crickets up in here. Millennials saying, what are you talking about, Willis? We had a cordless iron. You bought some sterno heat. and you took that iron that didn't have a cord, and you put on that sterno heat, let it heat it up, and then you start ironing real fast before it cooled off. Right? How many of y'all remember that? Come on now. Then they use it as a door stopper. You should have raised your hand. You know that. Sitting up there looking at me like I'm crazy. Yes, indeed. I'm telling you. You know, back in the day, my goodness, how time has flown. Sterno heat. I remember, oh my God, Mama used to make oxygen soap. Yeah, we made our own soap. And also so Mama kept children on Miami Beach, and we wore their hand-me-down clothes and their shoes. And if the shoes were too small, like I had size 11 shoe, well, and David, who she worked for his father, he had size 10. I would put on David's shoe. Mama said, that shoe can fit. She greased my foot with some Vaseline. Run some water in the bathtub. Say, get in there and walk around, boy. And that water would soak into that leather and stretch that leather. It would be a perfect 11. Come on, oh my God. I tell you, it's amazing how time flies. Woo, Betty Davis said, old age ain't for whips, you know? So, as you look at your goals and look at your dreams and what it is that brought you here, one of the first things I encourage you to do is continue to work on yourself. So I'm going to send to Ramon that he can send out to you some motivational videos that you can listen to on a regular basis, because in order to become successful in every business, write this down, mental resiliency. Mental resiliency. When people see what I'm doing now, they have no idea what I had to overcome to get here to earn $70,000 an hour, when the average person in the state of Georgia be lucky if they can earn $70,000 a year. And so mental resiliency, because things are going to happen that you can't anticipate. The book of life says, think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might. You will have tribulations. Stuff's going to happen that you can't anticipate. How many of you know that to be true? Raise your hands, please. Mental resiliency is very important. And my daughter, Ona, she has a book that I'm encouraging you to get. It's called Discover the Greatest You Ever. It's going to be in the back. But also she has one that it's dealing with health. And I'm encouraging you to have a health strategy called Holistic Health, and how the guide to and self-help for having a happy, healthy, and wealthy life. And the reason I want you to really get this is because I had 3 words spoken to me that no one ever wants to hear. You have cancer. 3 most fearful words in 7 different languages. You have cancer. My doctor, Dr. Alfred Golson, I said, he had such an unusual personality. I said, can you give me a second opinion? He said, yes, and you're ugly too. I said, come on, Dr. Golson, come on. Well, you say, ouch, you got that right, yeah. But that was 27 years later, and I stand before you because of God's grace and mercy. Yeah.
Amen.
One of the things they taught me, that doctors should never tell someone they're terminally ill. What they should say is that my knowledge and ability to help you has terminated. Now you need to explore some other options. And he was absolutely right. So 27 years later, I'm still here, being able to serve God and to do his work. Let us say together, I have greatness in me.
I have greatness in me.
I don't know you, but here's what I know about you based upon my own experience. And I don't believe that there's any accident that you're in this room this morning. You have greatness in you. We are cut from the same cloth. We are branches of the same tree. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. And with the methods and techniques and strategies that you learn from Ramon, what he's done plus what you bring to the table, you're going to even go far beyond him, and that's what his objective is to give you the tools, the methods, and the techniques, and for you to be determining factor, for you to determine what you do with it. Let us say together, it's possible.
It's possible.
I can live my dream.
I can live my dreams.
It's necessary.
It's necessary.
I want to park right there. I bought my mother 4 different homes. So I made a commitment that, Mama, what is it, Leslie, when I become a man, I'm going to buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. She said, oh, Leslie, you don't have to do that. I said, I know, Mama, but you didn't have to take us in as foster kids, but you did. And I want to do that for you. Whatever goal and dream that brought you here, that inspired you to make the investment, if it's a dream of becoming an entrepreneur, if it's a dream of working out of a job that just is no longer you, if it's a dream to earn more money so that you can take care of your family, so you can contribute to things and make a difference in the life of people that you love and people that you care about and causes that you support, whatever that dream is, let us say together, it's possible.
It's possible.
It's necessary.
It's necessary.
That's major right there, saying it's necessary.
It's necessary.
Yes, it's a non-negotiable.
It's non-negotiable.
Because things are going to happen. You're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be as easy as it appears in this classroom. When you get out there, things are going to happen and come your way that you don't anticipate. How many of you know that to be true? Raise your hands, please. It's called life. It's called life. Forrest Gump had a point. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And so, therefore, it's necessary. You've got to decide. You've got to dig in. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this work. I don't care how many people before me that they didn't do anything with it. They still have the products, the information on their shelf. Collecting dust, that's not me. I've got a goal, I've got a dream. There are things I want to do with my life, things I want to do for my family, things I want to do for my children. I want to build a legacy. How many want to build a legacy? Raise your hands, please. Yeah, and so people who build legacies, they have a different kind of mindset. They have a mindset, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. And when I started out, people told me, there's no way that you're going to be able to speak for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, General Electric, IBM, and Xerox. No way! You were labeled educable mentally retarded in the 5th grade and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. You failed again in the 8th grade at Booker T. Washington High School. There's no way with no corporate experience that you can develop the level of credibility to speak for those Fortune 500 companies. Ladies and gentlemen, how many have ever had goals and dreams you want to achieve and people told you you couldn't do it? Raise your hands, please. They don't know you like that. And you don't know yourself like that. You don't know what you can't do. You don't know enough about yourself to become a cynic. I'm telling you what I know. If anybody told me, if my birth parents came in here right now and said, hello, son, I would not know either one. That I would have spoken in over 51 countries in pursuit of a dream, just like what you're doing. That as a result of my investing in myself, just like you're doing, as a result of my carving out time for myself to learn something I did not know, just like you're doing, as opposed to sitting around looking at television, being a spectator, that you decided that I'm going to invest the time and energy to create a new chapter for my life. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on now. And so it's a different kind of mindset. And I'm encouraging you to stay the course. Let us say together, stay the course.
Stay the course.
In spite of.
In spite of.
The disappointments.
The disappointments.
The setbacks.
The setbacks.
The mistakes.
The mistakes.
Things that happen.
Things that happen.
That you don't see coming.
That you don't see coming.
How many of you know that the stuff that's going to come your way that you don't see coming?
Yep.
And you know, think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might, you will have tribulations. Things going to happen to you or people you care about. And some of you going through a storm right now. You don't have to raise your hand, just blink your eyes. I see you. Let us say together, it's necessary.
It's necessary.
I review my goals.
I review my goals.
I discipline myself.
I discipline myself.
To follow the coaching.
To follow the coaching.
To execute every day.
To execute every day.
To build relationship capital.
To build relationship capital.
Yeah, that's very important. That's one key thing that in order to make it today, this era of what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's, accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. Relationship capital. when I built my business, I practiced something called the 3-yard rule. Anybody that got within 3 feet of me, I would tell them what I was doing. You were within 3 feet of me? I said, hi, my name is Les Brown. I'm a motivational speaker. Do you or someone you know can use my services?
Yep.
Name of the game is relationship capital. Yeah. Write this down. Talk to people. TTP. Talk to people. And if that doesn't work, TTMP. Talk to more people. That's the name of this. That's what happens in life. That's what happens. I've spoken in Chicago, and it was set up for like 700 people. And most of the speakers left because they looked in the room and there's only 35 people there. I came in, and I spoke like I was speaking to 700 people. And one of those people were from the International Meeting Planners Association. And they invited me to speak there. And as a result of that, my speaking requests, the average speaker will get over about 25, 28 requests a year. Because of that one speech, I started getting over 3,000 requests a year. That when you honor yourself with holding yourself to highest standards at all times, under all circumstances, and negotiating and dealing with people and serving people, that's the name of the game. The greatest among you will be your servant. As you work in this area and begin to have a vision of yourself, being a dominant player, that you make a total commitment that I'm going to own this space, and that you work on yourself. And I want you to write this down, open to the possibilities. Open to the possibilities. Yeah. You have to have a total commitment. You have to have a mindset, I own this space. And you've got to be open to the possibilities that I'm going to do extremely well every day when I wake up. I say this, all things work together for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. And I repeat that to myself, that scripture. Those who love God and are called according to his purpose. I feel that I'm called. I believe that as much as you have chosen to be here, you were chosen to be here. There's something that you're supposed to do. There's something you bring to the industry that wasn't here. There's something that you have. You were created on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose. And as you look at this opportunity, an opportunity knocks on every door. No. Opportunity stands by silently waiting for you to recognize it. And this is an opportunity for you to manifest your greatness. This is an opportunity for you to create wealth, to serve people, to make your impact in this industry. This is an opportunity for you to take your life and your finances to the next level, to control your financial future. There's an economic downturn that's going to be coming very soon, this year. And I think of the words of Dr. Howard Thurman. He said, there's something in each and every one of you that waits and listens to the voice of the genuine in yourself. It will be perhaps the only guide you will ever have or hear. And if you cannot hear it, all of your life, your days will be spent on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. And I submit to you, you showed up, you signed up, you came in here soaking up everything you can get from Ramon, because you've said to yourself, nobody's going to pull my strings. Oh, you said to yourself, I'm going to pull my own strings. Give yourself a round of applause. Come on now, come on. Bring your energy level up. Bring it up, bring it up. So it's a total commitment. It's a mindset of ownership. It's open to the possibility. Let us say together, kindred spirits.
Kindred spirits.
Yeah, see, there are people who resonate with you. You have an energy signature. And as you go out and practice the principle of kindred spirits, write this down. OQP, only quality people.
Yep. Yep.
only quality people. In order to become successful, you have to surround yourself with quality people. They're in this room. There are eagles in this room. This room is not for pigeons. A pigeon come in here and suffocate. Because you're reaching higher. You're stretching yourself. You're challenging yourself. You want to get together with the eagles in this room and build those relationships and learn from each other. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough from Atlanta said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. It's iron sharpening iron. Learning from each other, collaborating. This is the time, write this down. You want to create collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. What happens when that happens? There are things that you're going to see in the sessions and the trainings and when you're driven around Atlanta that others won't see. And there's some things they're going to see that you won't see. And when you have collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships, and you don't see this as competition, there's enough out here for everybody. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
We help each other. Let's repeat, please. Help somebody. And help yourself.
Help yourself.
Because what you give
What you get.
is what you get.
Right.
And so when you create collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships and you're helping each other become successful, iron sharpening iron, the possibilities are unlimited as to what you can do, where you can go, and the kind of impact that you can make in this industry. So it's very important for you to look at your relationships and ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? Am I growing mentally and emotionally and spiritually? Am I getting some referrals from this relationship? Is it contributing to me as a person? Am I becoming a better person? There's some people, when you have a goal and you have a dream, you don't have the time to do the things that other people do. You know, you like for the Hawks to win and have a winning season. Or the Falcons, you know. But, you know, there are people cheering for them and can't even afford the tickets. Come on, no, you're not a spectator, you're a player. You want people to watch you and how you make music, making money, flipping. Come on, somebody. And so it's about mastering what you do, operating out of the thinking of Henry David Thoreau, who said, do not go where the path may lead, go where there's no path and leave a trail. And that's what Ramon has done in this industry. He's carved out a place for himself. And that's what you can do. That's why you're attracted to him and his teaching and his methodology. Give him a round of applause, please. Bring it up. Bring it up. Next thing is, as you look at your goals, look at your dreams, not only must it be a total commitment to ongoing learning and a mindset of ownership and perpetual optimism and working with people of kindred spirits, but have an expanded vision of yourself beyond your circumstances. I want you to have a vision of something that you want to achieve personally, what brought you here. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. What's the one personal goal that you want to achieve? Next thing is, I want you to think about your financial freedom goal. What does that number look like? That once you achieve that, it allows you to control your time. Once you achieve that, you go from just being driven by exchanging time for money. Once you achieve that, you'll be able to control your own time and have more choices and do things for yourself and for people that you care about and causes that you believe in. And then your social commitment. Somebody paid a price for us to be here. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chesting rod. Thought of the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. So your personal commitment, your financial freedom number, what does that look like? And whatever that number is, I want you to expand it. I found that most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they did what I did for a long time, 14 years before I did what you did today, made a decision to learn. 14 years I just sat on the sidelines and watched Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Robert Schuller and Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar. 14 years I doubted myself. There's an old African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. And all that time that I sat looking at them, thinking that they were an exception, looking at them, thinking that I could not do that because I don't have a college degree, I delayed my being able to, when I spoke in the Georgia Dome, the first time I gave a speech and spoke for 34 minutes and earned $122,000. No one could have told me, and I spoke in Salt Lake City, Utah. In an hour and a half, I earned over $280,000. No one could have told me, speaking at the Seminar of the Century with T. Harv Eckert, I would earn over $410,000. I'm saying to you, because of the commitment that you've made here, because of the teaching and the methods and the techniques and strategies that you learned from Ramon, the things that you're going to do, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you, because you made the commitment to pursue your dream. Give yourselves a round of applause. And as you think about the things that you want to do and the things that you want to achieve and the things that's driving your behavior, one of the things I strongly believe as we think about where we are right now in this place in history, don't worry about what's going on in the White House. Worry about what's going on in your house. Keep thine eyes single and thy whole body will be full of light. A double-minded man, double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Yes, keep your eyes single on where you're going, because there's a lot of noise out here. And it's hard to be focused. And the thing is that you got to hold yourself to a higher standard, because in the midst of all this stuff, things are going to be going on with you and with people that you care about. How many of you know that to be true? That can throw you off your game. This takes focus. This takes concentration. And so the people who are going to be successful are the people who have an expanded vision, personally, financially, and your social contribution. And the next thing is, that's very important, service. Write this down. Service-driven life. The greatest among you will be your servant. When you're involved in this, there are a lot of other things that's going to come to the table for you. Some of you have books in you. Some of you have speeches in you. Some of you have seminars and workshops in you. Some of you look at Ramon and say, hey, you know what? I can do that. Some of you have ideas that you want to act on. All of that's in you. This is beginning. What Ramon is a master at is opening up your mind to the possibilities of what you can do. And his life is an example that when you make a total commitment to master something, his life an example. When you own the space and no one does this better than he does. That's why I want people to see him everywhere. That's why I want to lend my name and reputation. I got 1.3 million people on my Facebook. I'm going to do an interview with him, to talk with him about what it is that he's doing and how people can benefit from his services. And when you have a perpetual mindset of optimism and don't allow your mind to be polluted by the noise in the media and turn that television off, constant negative news, because you don't have the mental bandwidth to take that in. You open to the possibilities of creating a new life for yourself. You don't have time to sit around and watch the troubles of the world. Am I right? Yeah, this is, you got to hit the ground running. When you leave here, you got to start running so that you can make this pay off for you. The time, the energy, the money, and the time of discipline to master what it is that you have, and building relationship capital and this expanded vision of yourself and creating more income. And I mention those figures not to impress you, but to impress upon you that you can do more than you can ever begin to imagine. You don't know enough about yourself to be a cynic. I had no idea that I could do what I've done thus far. I've been shocked. I'm telling you, when I speak out of the country, I get $225,000, and they pay me. I speak in unknown tongues.
Tie the yellow bow tie. Tie the yellow bow tie.
Come on! Are you kidding me? Wow! And I'm talking about 225,000 pounds. That's different.
You feel the brother.
People say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves.
That's right.
And listen to me, fellas. Even if you're as homeless as I am, you got some money, women will find something cute on you. Oh, honey, he's got earlobes like Denzel. He's got eyelashes like Terrence Howard. I used to be so broke, I walk past the bank and trip the alarm. Predators call the house of my children and ask them for and say, my daddy say he ain't home. My children lied for me on the phone. I'm so glad about caller ID. I'm so glad. They can't catch me anymore, you know. But it's this thing. It's what you want to do is take charge of your future. And what's major to that, let us say together, you got to be hungry.
You gotta be hungry.
Everybody together, please. You got to be hungry.
You gotta be hungry.
This teacher, he made a dramatic impact in my life. Mr. Leroy Washington. I eulogized him. We called him the great communicator. I was in his class looking for MacArthur Stevens. He said, young man, go to the board and work this script out here, and I want you to read the script before everybody. I said, sir, I can't do that. He said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, look at me. I said, yes, sir. Go to the board and do what I'm asking you to do anyhow. I said, sir, I can't do what you're asking me to do. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT. What's DT? He's a dumb twin. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And that was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated. But on the other hand, I was liberated because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. How many of you realize that when someone tells you that you can't do something, or someone speak a negative word on you and your potential, how many of you know that it has some impact? Raise your hands, please. That's why the book of life says death and life is in the tongue. Now, it doesn't say life and death is in the tongue. It says death and life is in the tongue. Why? Because we speak more death to ourselves, and people speak death on our dreams. Thou shalt decree a thing, it shall be established unto you. King World paid me $5 million to do a show several years ago, in 1992, and I'll never forget when I walked into Manhattan studio and I looked around and saw my name up in lights and saw the studio, and unconsciously I said, this is too good to be true. Something is bound to happen. Who's ever said that in here? And it did. I spoke death in my own dream, unconsciously. 87% of our self-talk goes undetected by the conscious mind. That's why I'm gonna give Ramon some motivational materials to send to you free, for you just to listen, just for your mind. Because stuff is happening all around us, the level of craziness we've never seen before. And so you have to protect your mind. You don't have the mental bandwidth to entertain and engage and give time over to things that's not positive, that's not purposeful, that's not productive, and that's not profitable. Does that make sense? Give your dream a round of applause. Come on. So Mr. Washington said, what do you want to do with your life, young man? I said, I want to take care of my mother. He said, you've got to be hungry. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, people that are hungry are relentless. People that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. Guess why you're here today on a Saturday? Because you're hungry. While other people might be out trying to learn how to do stepping in Chicago, you are hungry. While other people dressed in white to go to a white party, you are hungry because you're going to a green party. Help me somebody. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, stay hungry. Do that. Stay hungry. And so when you have that perpetual mindset of staying hungry, that expanded vision of yourself and the service that you provide, so many incredible things can come out of that. He said, what do you want to do with your life? I said, I'd like to become a disc jockey. He said, you want to become a disc jockey? I said, yes, sir. And he gave me a cassette tape by a guy named Earl Nightingale called The Strangest Secret in the World. He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And that's why I'm providing these motivational materials for you to listen to, just for your mindset. And then he said something else. He said, Mr. Brown, you don't just need your mind developed. He said, you need to do what Ramon said, relationship capital. You need to build relationships with people. Why did he say that? When we were kids, guess what they tell us not to do? Don't talk to what? Strangers. Guess who's going to spend money with you?
Strangers.
Absolutely. There are people who won't do business with you. You know why? Because they know you. And they know too much about you. And they can't forget it. You have more flexibility with strangers than you will with people that you know. Am I correct? Yes. And the other thing he said, Mr. Brown, develop your communication skills. Because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. How many of you know that's true? Raise your hands, please. We judge people by their ability to communicate. And I'll never forget, he told me, he gave me his car keys, told me to go in his car, listen to a guy named Paul Harvey. He had a radio program called The Rest of the Story. You remember that? Paul Harvey was a bad boy, let the record show. And so I listened to him every day. And then he said, I've done all I can do for you. He said, you need to go out into the marketplace. You want to be a disc jockey? Go to WMBM radio station. Ask for Milton Butterball Smith. I trained him. Relationship capital. So I went to WMBM radio station. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, young man, you have any journalism in your background? I said, no, sir, I don't. You have any experience in broadcasting? No, sir. But I visualize myself being on radio. Let me audition for you, sir. I practice every day. I see it in my mind's eye. He said, no, we don't have any job for you. How many have ever been rejected? Raise your hands, please. I was devastated with rejection. I went back and I said, Mr. Washington, he said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Go back again. I went back again. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, weren't you here yesterday? I said, yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? I said, yes, sir. He said, then why are you back today? I said, well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. He said, no one was laid off or fired, and I get on out of here. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy, like I was singing for the first time. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. Then why are you back today? I said, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. He said, no one got sick or died. No one was laid off or fired. Now, don't you come back here again. I came back the next day.
Yep.
Talking loud, looking happy, like I was singing for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball, how are you? And he looked at me with rage and says, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. Repeat after me, please. Provide more service than you get paid for.
Provide more service than you get paid for.
Yes, in order to become successful today, you got to be hungry. And people that are hungry provide more service than they get paid for. They get to know the people they're dealing with. They are knowledgeable. They go all out of their way to find out everything they can to close that deal. And that's why Ramon is so successful. And with his personality and with his knowledge and his commitment to serve you, your skills in the marketplace, you're going to accelerate. And when you call me, when I can help you and you say, oh, by the way, I'm taught by Ramon, oh, that gives you a pass. Let the record show. That gives you a mulligan. Can you feel a brother up in here, up in here? Yes, indeed. And so, as I look at myself and look back during that time, I'll never forget, I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I'd go get their lunch and their dinner, and I'd stand in the control room knowing my time would come. And then on the weekends, I went out and I cleaned their cars. I waxed it and cleaned the inside. They would come outside and say, hey, who did this? I did, sir. How much you charge, young boy? Nothing, sir. I just wanted to serve you. I was building relationship capital. I wanted them to see me as a go-to person. They said, wow. I said, look, here are my car keys. Donna Ross and Supremes are coming to town. Four Tops and the Temptations. Pick them up and take them to the Fontainebleau Hotel on Miami Beach. I said, it'd be my pleasure, sir. I would drive them all over Miami Beach in disc jockeys, big long Cadillacs. I didn't have any driver's license, but I'd drive them. Then one day, it was a Saturday afternoon, a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. It was a Saturday afternoon. He began to slur his words, and I was the only one there, looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth, young, ready, hungry. I was saying, drink, rock, drink. Drink, rock. I'd go and get him some more if he'd asked me to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was the general manager, and I answered the phone. I said, hello? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, now he must be thinking I'm crazy. I called my mom and my girlfriend, Cassandra. I said, y'all come out on the front porch and turn on the radio. I'm about to come on the air. I waited for about 20 minutes, and I called him back and said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and segue the records, but don't you say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get behind that turntable. Stevie Wonder had a song out called Fingertips. I said, look out, this is me, LB Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing pop. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, you gotta be hungry. You gotta be hungry. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do. That's who you are. In order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry believe, always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. People that are hungry know it's lonely at the top, but you eat better. People that are hungry live from the place, do what you know, not what you feel. You have something special. You have greatness in you. And I'm so honored to be able to stand before this room of greatness. And I look forward to working with you on this path that you have chosen for yourself to become, as Mother Teresa would say, a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in your life. So I'd like to leave this with you, something my mother loved to hear me say, and I know Ramon knows it word for word. And I dedicate this to you and to your dream and to this new chapter in your life. And I came here from Cleveland. I moved here 3 months ago, and this doctor came in, Dr. Taha from Pakistan. He said, did they tell you at the Cleveland Clinic you had 4-stage cancer? I said, no, they did not. He said, did they tell you that it metastasized to 7 areas of your body? I said, wow. He said, why are you excited? I said, 7 is my lucky number. I was born February 17th. I'm one of 7 children. My phone number is 702. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Naaman dipped himself in the River Jordan 7 times. 7 is my lucky number. He said, you won't die from cancer. He said, but you got to monitor that diabetes because of the shots we give you. Put 100 pounds on me, but I'm getting that off now. But what it taught me was things happen in life. Some things happen to you, and some things happen for you. First 75 years of my life, I did it my way. Now, the rest of it, I'm doing it God's way. So I'd like to leave this with you. Everybody put their hand over your heart, please. Feel that heartbeat. You were chosen. 1 out of 400 million sperm. You were chosen on purpose with a purpose. You're a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master. God has something in mind when he chose you. Father, we give thanks for this time that we have spent together. We thank you for these entrepreneurs, these dreamers. We thank you for Ramon and the impact that he's making for generations yet unborn. And we thank you for the opportunity to stand here and to speak to them. My mother used to love to hear me say this, and I dedicate this to all of you. Leslie, yes ma'am, mama, say that thing for me, boy. I dedicate this to you. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and sleep for it, of all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you will get it. You have something special. You have greatness in you. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy and Ramon's pride and joy. God bless you, and God bless your dream.
Come on, y'all. We can do better than that. We can get blessed. Come on, keep it going, keep the energy up. Mr. Brown, we thank you so much for the information.